Hello there, everyone. Patricia Hayes here with Coffee Time Career Chat. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, so glad to have you. And a little bit about me, I am an executive advisor, empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist who loves working with people who are looking to get to the next level of their career and their business, need some support to make it happen and to do it in an empowered way and to reconnect with their professional relationships authentically and purposefully. So, we are talking about gratitude and your network here on this Wednesday. And as we continue in this series, I'm super excited to continue it. And it won't be a lengthy conversation because we've been doing quite well with going right along and talking about. If you want to go back and take a look what we have been talking about when it comes to gratitude. We've been, excuse me, we've been talking about making sure that we have ways to say thank you. Like, how many ways can we say thank you to our network? And doing so very actively, doing so very purposefully, right? We Gratitude is a way of showing appreciation for those people who have contributed to our lives, our professions, we as people, as individuals. And so you want to make sure you're doing that because it is true what you give out comes back to you in spades, right? And that's not the reason for doing it, but it is absolutely definitely a benefit when you do it. We also talked about making sure that we know the needs of your network. This is one of those that I spent a little bit of time on, I believe, last week, where it's real important to make sure that you actually know what your people need, because that's how you can better say thank you and better show your gratitude as you connect them up with the things that they need, as you stay aware for opportunities for them, which is what some of the things we're going to talk about today. But when you're doing that, it's really simple. People think it's too complicated. How do we know? How can we keep up with what our people need? Well, it's really this simple. You have to ask good questions. You have to make sure shut up and listen and then be willing to share things out. So when we ask those questions, when we use our ears more than our mouth in listening, and then when we are then actively sharing things out, it is a great way in order to show appreciation for those of our network. So today we're expanding upon that by anticipating the needs of our network. And how can you anticipate the needs? Well, think about it. We've already laid the groundwork when we talked about asking good questions, asking very in-depth questions, not just surface level things about what someone needs, where they're going, what their goals are. You would be surprised at how many people are genuinely caught off guard when myself or someone else, I hear them say, yeah, I asked them what they needed and they were like, huh? They were like, well, I don't know. Let me think about that. And that's okay if they answer that. But just the fact that you've asked that question shows that you are interested in providing support to them at more than a surface level, right? And it helps you in meeting their needs, right? And supporting your network in the long term. Because if the answers to those questions shift, that's something for you to keep track of, even if it does not, right? When you listen and you've asked those questions and now you're listening and you're not trying to think ahead of what you think they might respond and how you think they might respond, what you think they might need, but actually hear what they need. All of these things roll up into you being able to then maybe even anticipate some of their needs as things progress. What do I mean? So if you're having a great conversation with someone, they've told you, yeah, things have been a little slow. I'm really looking to develop more opportunities to do some speaking so that I can then develop my leads more naturally. And you're like, okay, well, who do you want to talk to? What are the types of speaking engagements that you're looking for? All of those, getting to ask, more in-depth questions and then listening to them, right? And then what can happen is when you have this information, you may not have something for them right away, and that's okay. You let it simmer and let it build up, because then what's going to happen is you're going to be engaging with someone else and they're going to say, hey, we really need a speaker for X. Boom, there you go. And like, oh my gosh, I was just talking to Patricia. I think I have someone for you who may be able to support you or that I can refer to, right? And that is how you can then say thank you to your connection, because you're now saying, hey, I think I have someone, I have some organizations that, that we may be able to get you set up with, right? Let's work on doing that. And so you can start anticipating what they might need, or what might benefit them, I should say, based on that initial conversation that you've had. I've seen this happen all the time. Literally, the situation I just described is one that just happened to me last week, right? Where someone asked me, it's like, I did something for them. They're like, okay, so tell me, how can I help you? What do you need? And I'm like, you know what? Thank you for asking that. And so here are some things that I'm looking to do, and I'm looking to build up for the new year. So if there's any opportunities that you become aware of, I would love for you to share them. They're like, yes, actually, I have 2-3 groups already I'm thinking about. You give me a speaker sheet and I'll be happy to share them with you. So here it is. And that's the thing. I'm super excited about it. It's helping me to do something I've been needing to do anyways when it comes to a one sheet. And I know that this person is going to share it out, right? Because we've been doing this mutual benefit thing for some time now. And it just flows, and it's very natural at this point. Okay. And the thing is, because I've said that, I probably won't have to go back and tell this person this again. I'm like, yeah, I will share the information that they asked me for and whatever, and get that going. But if a totally different group of people or opportunities show up, I know that they're already going to be like, yes, I have someone that I can potentially share with you. Okay. This is how those things work. And trust you me, I am very appreciative of that. So what does that put me in the position of doing? I'm going to definitely want to make sure that I continue to support this person, right? Because they're showing appreciation for me and what I've done for them, and it just becomes mutual. Okay. So it's not even about it, it's about it just growing naturally in that way and authentically in that way, not forced, because you're literally saying, hey, I got this thing I heard about for you. I'm going to share it with you. Hey, I heard this other thing. Let me know what you need to, for me to help you make it happen. Okay. Goes back and forth. One of my speaking engagements later in this week is exactly that situation. I was engaging with one of my biz friends online. I'd spoken on one of her podcasts, and when that podcast was airing, literally she came to me, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think about connecting you with this person beforehand, because this person heard the podcast. She officially connected us, and we talked, and here I am now speaking with her organization, which is based in Canada, right? And she's already been like, yeah, let's see what we can do to get you some more opportunities up this way. And this has been set, for a couple of months. I'm still trying to get to the first engagement, and she's already like, yeah, what else can we do to get you set up to come, to be a part of this organization more into the future. Okay. So it really does become this cycle. It really does become this thing of where once you share out, and that's what happened. I told this person, I'm like, I'm looking to do more public speaking in 2023. So I welcome any opportunities for it. And she was immediately on it. Okay. This is how you build those pipelines for opportunities. This is how you build those pipelines for your network and things that come along, not only to benefit you, because, I'm always really, really strongly advocating for the fact that it's not just about you, it's about sharing out. One of the things I talked about in the coffee chat from Monday was about career spoilage and how we let so many things go on the ground. And I don't think I got to this point, but it's this fact that literally everything that comes to us is not always meant for us. Some things are meant to be shared because there's no way we can consume all of those things, right? So just like one person can't consume all of that fruit that's spoiling on that tree limb and falling to the ground, and no matter how much you gather it up, you have to share it out. And I use that example of we used to have we had a pear tree in one of our old houses, and literally one of those years it was just like, it was so bountiful, it was crazy. So I was taking it up by the bagfuls because I didn't want it to spoil on the ground. And I take them, get them ripened, whatever, put them in the bags, and I was giving them out to friends and family because there was no way I could ever utilize it all. The same thing with our professional networks, right? There are things that are come to you that are not for you. They are for you to share. They are for you to show appreciation to the people in your circle, for you to help them. Okay. And when you start doing that, I promise you it will circle back around. Promise you. It always does. It's always amazing to me how it happens. But it does. Okay. So make sure that you're, again, asking, listening, sharing, so that you can be fully attuned to take action when the time is ripe. Okay. That's what you want to do. I like writing these things down. When the time is ripe, you want to make sure that you are prepared to take action, not just for yourself, but for your relationships. Okay. So there are all of those different ways. So I really want you to do a little bit of prep reflection, because this is a great time of year to do this. Is if you sit down and think about what you've been through this year, the experiences you've had, the opportunities that have presented themselves, the ones you've taken advantage of versus not. And then do the kind of, like, how back in school you do the little matchup. You've got a list of things on one side and another list of things on the other. And I want you to start, have your list of opportunities, uh, activities, whatever it may be. And then on the other side, your list of people. Okay. And even without talking to them again, like, you've done this, let's presume you've had some conversations and you've got your list of people. What are these opportunities and activities you listed? How can you play the matching game, right? And draw and connect it with some other people in your network. Like, physically write it down and do that. Because a lot of times I don't think people do that. They do it in their head, but then they never follow up. So this is why I'm always advocating for regular, consistent reflection, right? Most of the time it's probably at least weekly. Monthly gets a little, or even every 2 weeks. Monthly gets a little tough because it's so much, right? So sometimes you have to break it down. But whatever it is, start it today, particularly for the end of this year, and let's see what you can do to prepare to anticipate the needs of the people in your network by looking at what has come before you, what's on the horizon, and be like, I wonder if this could be something that would help them, right? And that leads then to following up. You don't have to do this with a ton of people. If you do this with 5 or 10 people, I'm going to challenge people. Do this with 5 or 10 people between now and the end of the year and see what comes of that, right? If you make a conscious, deliberate effort to work on the behalf of 5 to 10 people, not making a big deal about it, just reviewing what you know, what you have, and then figuring out what opportunities can I connect these people to? How can I show my appreciation for them and what they do by connecting them up with things that I've known or learned about over the course of this year or what I see coming next year. And then see where that takes you. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm going to have to write that up. Y'all are going to see that in a whole full post because that's really kind of an exciting thing if you think about what it is. You're playing a little matching game, your networking matching game, and see how you can help people. So I'm going to help facilitate that. I'm going to put out some generic list of opportunities, activities to serve kind of as a catalyst for you to create others of your own. And then you write out, the names of your people. I'll probably describe types of people, but you put real names to them and see how you can anticipate the needs of those people in your network and help them moving forward into 2023. It's really a super awesome thing to see in action. So I'm going to help you make it happen. Okay. So keep an eye out for that. I'm excited about seeing what that looks like, being a little creative, see what we can create for you to utilize as a tool going into the end of this year. And that's it. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Let me know how things are going. Enjoy if you're traveling for the holidays. Be safe. If not, we will catch up with you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.